Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back to a brand new video. For people new to this channel, my name is Ethan, and I sometimes make content on the best deck in the game, Balloon 2.9 Cycle. Today I'm going to be showing you guys a lot of Hero Ice Golem tech that you should know for Balloon Cycle. Obviously the Hero Ice is a huge upgrade to this classic Cycle deck, and yeah, Balloon Cycle's longevity is real and it needs to be studied, so it's worth learning as many interactions as you can to give you an edge against other players. This video will be split into two parts, troop interactions and building interactions. I just want to make a quick disclaimer, these interactions were tested in optimal conditions, everything and anything can happen in a real game, so you're not going to be in a situation to pop the ability every time, so don't take what you've seen here and think it's going to apply perfectly in every situation. Finally, I just want to say, make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, it'll help me out a lot. Alright, that's enough yapping, let's get into it. Part 1. Troop interactions. First, we're going to take a look at bait type cards, starting with the Suspicious Bush. As you can see, the Hero Ice Golem ability will be able to fully pop the bush. It might be worth playing the ability if the Ice Golem is already placed, since doing just this is a -2 trade. Next, the Evil Skeleton Army. The Ice Golem is actually pretty good here, being able to fully counter the General's shield, so you don't have to waste 2 small spells on the General in specific scenarios. Next, the Evil Skeleton Barrel. You can actually full counter it with the ability even if it can't one-shot the skeletons. It is a -1 trade, but it's worth doing this if you don't have Bomb Tower in Cycle or anything good for it. Next, against the Lava Pups. With the damage nerf done to the Ice Golem pre-release, it doesn't kill the pups anymore, but it's able to clean them up nicely with help from the tower, and it allows you to save your snowball for a potential counter push. Speaking of small flying things, the Hero Ice Golem no longer does the damage to kill evil bats and minions with a Death Explosion plus ability, but as you can see from these subsequent clips, it's still worth popping your ability to force the balloon through. This is especially good if they have multiple waves of air defense and you want to save your snowball for the second set of minions or whatever. Let's take a look at how it does against minions. Let's just pretend that we don't have Snowball in Psycho. Even though it doesn't fully kill them, the freeze and knockback will force the Loon to the tower. Even against a minion horde, the ability provides enough utility to force it to the tower. Now it's going to be a lot easier to break through decks like Giant Sparky with double minions, because you can always cycle back to another Snowball or Ice Golem to kill their counter-pushing minions if you're unable to kill them on their side of the map. Before we move on to Rascals, I just want to talk about an important concept first, which will come up later in the video. Let's say that every bit of quote-unquote ice damage is a tick. And what do I mean by ice damage? Well, any bit of damage that comes from the Ice Golem ability, Death Explosion, or Snowball. This is just a simplified way to think about it, but it will help especially to understand the Rascals Girls interaction and building interactions, so just trust me with this. So as you can see from the first clip, 4 ticks, 3 from the Ice Golem ability, and 1 from the Snowball is just enough to fully kill the Rascal Girls. This is also illustrated in the next clip, because the Rascal Girl on the right dodges the first ability explosion, so the Snowball is not going to be enough to kill her, because that's only 3 ticks. But the Rascal Girl who took 4 dies. The ability is still going to be great against Rascals, even if the girls don't die, by the way. Let's move on to Wall Breakers. The Ice Golem Plus ability will still full counter the regular ones, so it might be worth using if they place Wallies the same lane as your Ice Golem. It almost fully counters the evil Wall Breakers too, but it'll still allow one tiny breaker to connect, but it's really not bad if you don't want to waste both small spells or a bomb tower on it. It can actually fully counter a Skeleton King plus ability with the help of the Princess Tower, so that's pretty neat in some scenarios. It can also almost fully counter an evil ghost. One tiny ghost soldier will get a swing on your towers still. I don't think there's a way to do this flawlessly, but I might be wrong. Let me know in the comments below if you know of a way to full counter the evil ghost. Next, let's talk about resetting troops. The ability can reset a princess with knockback, so even if they place something like a knight in front to protect, it can retarget it. The ability can also reset a Mighty Miner charge in case you didn't know, but yeah, the Ice Golem can actually push the Mighty Miner off your tower normally, but still, this could bail you out of some situations. Speaking of bailouts, if an Expo ever locks onto your tower, you can also reset it with the ability. Not even with Tesla can prevent this, but try not to allow an Expo lock in the first place. Next, let's go on to Battle Ram. The ability can freeze the ram and stop it from charging, but it doesn't affect the barbarians, as you see. As for the evil ram, you need to be more careful with the placement, as the ram can push the ice golem aside, meaning that the barbs could just get on your tower, which is pretty unfortunate. But you can just place the ice golem on the side, which can give you a very neat interaction like this. And this is going to be more consistent with a bomb tower pulling the ram. As for troops Loon Psycho typically struggles against, one of them is the Evil Inferno Dragon, but from this clip you can see that it does so good against it, not only resetting it but also freezing it, preventing its charge up, and the Loon almost takes the whole tower, which is pretty wild. For bulkier troops that the Evil Musk can't kill in 3 shots, the Hero Ice death damage can also help. It kills the Evil Eggsy and the Evil Inferno with the ability plus 3 musky shots. This also allows you to save your snowball to push any troops back later. The freeze is definitely pretty good against Eggsy. In this clip you see that the freeze plus nothing else forces your balloon to the tower for 1 hit, which will force out another response. So let's see this against a typical push. Even without the snowball, he's forced to tornado the balloon back to prevent a lot of damage on his tower. But small word of advice, you gotta be careful against good Hog Eggsy players because they can do an optimal Eggsy placement which actually pushes your Ice Golem back first, making sure that their tower is able to lock onto the balloon, as you can see. That might be new information for a lot of you guys. As for more clunky interactions, an ability plus Skellies can full counter a Hog. This clip here was not even the best placement, but it still works. It's not the most reliable due to log predicts, but it can save you in a pinch. And against pigs is not the worst either. You are taking about 400 damage, but if you don't want to spend your bomb tower or you're already clogging the lane with an ice golem, it's not the worst if you want to defend with the abilities plus skellies plus barbarrel. Here's a funny interaction against E-Giant. You can freeze the E-Giant with the ability, which allows the skeletons to chain for a little bit before his passive reactivates. But this first clip is not the optimal placement. You can actually place them before the third tick goes off to get the most DPS against the E-Giant, keeping your bomb tower as healthy as possible, which I'll show here. Pay attention to the timing. And that's pretty cool, right? The Hero Ice can also help you against pushes like these if you have evil skeletons in hand, and let's say you don't have your musketeer in hand. This allows your skellies to DPS down the RG very fast while nicely taking care of the ghost as well. Speaking of RG, against the hunter, the freeze is worth using first. You just have to snowball pretty fast once the hunter is frozen, and even with a fireball the loon will still get onto the tower, which is pretty broken. Also real quick, in literally the worst case scenario against recruits, with Zappies, Diddy from the cage, recruits the bridge, the ability is not really worth popping on defense, at least in single. It doesn't really do that much. Speaking of another worst case scenario, it used to be literally impossible to defend the double evil golem push, but look at how this plays out. Not too shabby, right? We didn't even have evil skeletons or our evil musk immediately in hand. Although it's important not to let yourself in these kind of situations in the first place, but it shows how strong of a defensive resource it's going to be against some decks. Rounding out this part of the video, I'm going to show some Hero Ice Golem defenses against Graveyard. To be honest, since the damage got nerfed before its release, it's no longer able to fully counter a Graveyard with Skellies. To be honest, I don't know if there's an optimal placement, but from these two clips, the Graveyard was only able to get 2 hits through 2 different Skellies placements, meaning that you still take damage after an even trade against a naked Graveyard. It's not bad, but it's not great either. It's even worse with something tanking for it, obviously. The Ice Golem is going to be the cheapest tank they can use, so that's 7 elixir from them. In the first clip, the defense is just going to be Skellies, Ice Golem plus ability, and Musk to DPS down the Ice Golem, so a -2 elixir trade just to take 324 damage. The next one we use a Barbaro as well, but that's a -4 elixir trade just to still take a little bit less damage. So honestly, it's not really worth it, considering that you're also sacrificing your best troop to either kite, tank for, or block their troops that cross the bridge. I think just the traditional Skellies plus Barbaro defense should work, and hopefully Fan can show some tech to deal with the new graveyard. Part 2, Building Interactions. This is where the ice damage thingy I was talking about earlier comes into play, and here's a reminder in case you forgot. I'll be talking about how much the Ice Golem ability can assist in helping the balloon take down buildings using this model. I did skip some buildings like Drill and Elixir Pump for the sake of time, but let me know in the comments if you know of any interactions worth knowing for the buildings I didn't cover. So the first building we're going to take a look at is the cannon. Just one tick normally, whether from a snowball or Ice Golem Death Explosion, will help the Loon to one-shot the cannon, so popping the ability to take care of the cannon and saving your snowball for something like a queen or a swarm they place on your miner will be very, very good. And don't forget that the ability radius is quite large, so even if they place troops to DPS down the Ice Golem quickly, the ability is practically guaranteed to get on the cannon as long as you pop it at a reasonable time. The next building we're going to take a look at is the Goblin Cage. To be honest, it's not really worth popping the ability just to kill the cage unless they place another troop right next to it that can be frozen. Let's take a look at another example here. The ability radius is big, but it's unable to make it to the tower and will just end up freezing the cage goblin if they don't place anything near the cage. The next building we'll take a look at is the bomb tower. You need 5 ticks in order to fully kill it for the balloon, so you need all 3 ability hits, death bomb, and a snowball. But this amount of damage will actually perfectly kill the bomb tower with 1 balloon hit, which allows your balloon to get on the tower. Let's look at another clip and count the amount of ticks. So the first blast, second blast, third blast plus death damage, and a snowball, 1 balloon hit, and yeah, that's what we call a perfect interaction. One last bomb tower clip. He plays a ghost which forces us to pop the ability early, and as you can see, just 1 missing tick makes it so that the bomb tower doesn't die instantly to a balloon hit. Alright, moving on to our next building, the Goblin Hut. Since the hut spear goblins don't have that much DPS, if you're able to let the Ice Golem walk to the hut and pop the ability right when about 3 spear goblins spawn, this will leave the least amount of them alive, and the Loon can one-shot the hut. We'll show another example in this next clip, where let's say you have to pop the ability early. You can freeze any troops DPSing down the Ice Golem and just have it walk to the hut. So the next building is going to be the Tesla. This thing has a lot more DPS, so it's highly unlikely that you'll be able to get the death bomb from the Ice Golem on the Tesla, so at best you're going to get 3 ticks from the ability. And as you saw right there, 3 ticks is not quite enough to kill the Tesla, so you need a 4th. Let's have the next clip show what happens if you get 4 ticks on the Tesla from the Ice Golem, and it's enough to one-shot it. But let's say that they DPS down the Ice Golem fast and you're only able to get 3 ticks, that's where your snowball comes in handy. It gives the 4th tick necessary for the balloon to one-shot the Tesla. So another clean interaction. For the last building, we have Inferno Tower. To be honest, I don't know if the ability is going to be worth popping since the Ice Golem Death Explosion is literally never going to make it to the Eye Tower, so with just 4 ticks it's not going to be enough to kill it fully. The assist from the ability can help you sneak Death Bomb to the tower more reliably though. Just keep in mind that the Hero Ice Golem plus ability plus balloon plus snowball is already 11 elixirs, so in general for most buildings, popping the ability first is only worth doing in double. I think in single it's usually better to just use your snowball over the ability, but it depends. But yeah, against Inferno Tower and the rest of the buildings, don't forget to get your miner on the tower as well. Alright, now we're at the end of the video. To be honest, it took an insane amount of coordination and time to get this out efficiently, so if you haven't already, make sure to give the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It'll help me out a lot. And yeah, let me know in the comments below what you found interesting, and look forward to gameplay videos from me, or Fan, or Josie Minion, so you can better understand how the Hero Ice Golem would actually be used in real games. Finally, I want to give a huge shout out to Ahmed44, who helped me record the bulk of the interactions for this video. He also does my thumbnails, and he is currently looking for work as a thumbnail designer, so if you're interested or if you know anyone who is, you can contact him on Twitter or Discord, which I'll show here. Show some love to him, yeah? Also, shout out to Anis, the best 3.0 Expo player, and Lopes, the giant graveyard soldier, for helping me record additional footage. Thank you all for watching, and yeah, see you in the next one.